Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. Hi, Mike Drop. How are you? Thanks. How have you been? Long time no see. Nice to see you. Hi, Luigi. Hi, JC Stark. Happy Friday. Hi, Robin. How you doing, cutie? Hi, Rich. Hi, Justin. Hey, Tater Tot. Hi, Eric. Hi, Millie. Hi, Lonnie. Hey, Boone. Hi, What Will Be. Hey, Wookie. Hi, Lady Rose. Hi, Skrilla. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm good, Robin. Thanks. Hi, Khaleesi. How's camping going, Boone? Having fun? Welcome in, guys. My name's Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. Oh my god, that's so cute, Millie. Look how chubby he is. He's so cute. Thanks. Hi, David. My name's Devin, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning with about 500 awesome porch pals. Also, all of my stories are available on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming channels as well. So you can fall asleep to them or relax to them anytime you like. And they're spooky stories, kind of like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, Twilight Zone, that type of thing. Yes, David, they are based off of actual experiences people have had or actual folklore that exists, but I write them in first person as if they happened to me, but they didn't all happen to me. But I think it makes it more immersive. But the actual encounters did happen to somebody. Yes, I write them all. I used to do a live show where I hosted people coming up, kind of like how Art Bell has people call in. I had people come up and tell me their first-person encounters of things, and I saved them all the recordings. So I use them for inspiration, and I also pull from research and what people email me and tell me that they've experienced. It's it's interesting. Welcome in, David. All right, guys, for those of you who do know my stories, feel free to write your story requests. Hi, Lemons. I'm so proud of you for making that jam. Robin. Meow. Look at Lily. Oh, God, my heart. My heart. Why is she so cute? Meow. And her little paws. Oh, Rich gave me corn. All right, guys, and if you could do me a favor while I'm writing down your request. She's so cute. I can't even stand it. I want that to be like a screensaver on my phone or something. That is exactly how I look, Skrilla. It's exactly. I'm like, meow. Give me hugs. While I'm writing down your story requests, if you guys could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. The little yellow circle. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. I'll write down your story requests, and then I will set up the first poll. Oh, Monique gave me corn. Mic drop, thanks for the bear. Hi, Erica. Welcome back, cutie. Uh-oh, Kyle. Don't do that. Maybe just go to sleep. Kyle said, probably a better idea. I think so. Just take a little snoozy snooze, Kyle. Jake, we don't know yet. Everybody's putting in their story requests right now in all capital letters, and then we vote on it. So whichever one wins, it's very interactive here. So whichever one wins is the one I will be reading. Hi, Outrun. Thank you, Robin. He's so cute. Also, thank you to everybody tapping the screen. Robin, thank you. He's so cute. You guys look at him. Look at his tail wiggle. His tail wiggles. It's so cute. Hi, Jason. Hi, Possum. Hi, Megan. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Do I know the Muffin Man? I do, actually. He's not as sweet as you think he'd be. You thought he was counting money? No, he's playing video games. Dahlia, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Welcome back, Devin. Your vibes are immaculate, Devin. Devin with an A. Thank you, B&G. Hi, Tony. Yes, Bed of Dust. He's a brand muffin, actually. Hi, Outrum. You like the slower chat over there? Yeah, some people prefer it over there. That's exciting, Nature's Oracle. Congrats. Brooke thought he was banging on a drum. That's so funny. All right, you guys. Your cat's fed up with your shenanigans. All right, you guys. The first poll is ready. We have... Oh, sorry, one sec. Okay. All right, we have the bottle trees, which is the news story of the week. Hi, Scotty, on your FYP. Yay, it's working. Welcome back. See, guys, the sharing and the tapping works. All right, you guys, we have... Oh, Jake's doing a drum roll. I love it. We have bottle trees, which is the news story of the week. We have the mad scientist. We have the crawl space. We have Hug and Molly. And we have the cave. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story. Skrilla said he's a gamer like you. Thank you, BNG. I appreciate that. Does our community have a name? Yes, we are called the Porch Pals, Jake. Welcome. We're the Porch Pals. Porch Pals. But sometimes they say Porchies. But Porch Pals is kind of like, we're the Porch Pals Society. You found the podcast? Yay, sleepy time. I'm so glad. Oh, Robin, I understand. To sleep like magic, it is magic. But that's the whole point, and I'm so glad that I can help you sleep. Skrilla, you're the story of every week for me. Hi, Laura. How are you? Happy Friday. Jake, we're the Porch Pal Society because I start every story with submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of. And so, but the Porch Pals was the original. Yes, exactly, Jake. Exactly. Because that show was my inspiration. Okay, Outrum. Yeah, some people don't even care about voting and they just sit back and chill. The winner is the Mad Scientist. Thank you, Jake. Me too. I love it. I will be right back with that story. While I'm pulling up the first story, could you guys do me a big favor? That's good, blissfully. You're supposed to fall asleep in here. If you guys could do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a little yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other. And it says repost. And that puts the live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. I'll be right back with the tale of the mad scientist. No, Rich, it's a lot behind because it's streamed through a third party because YT doesn't allow green screen on their they don't have the capability yet, so I have to stream through a third party, so it's not exact timing. Oh, Wookie just sent a super fan box, you guys. Check it out, super fan. There's a little treasure box. Yeah, well, Rich, most people aren't on both at the same time. At the same damn time. I feel like I can come up with a rap song for every situation. Hi, Nate. Hi, Delphi. I actually forgot about that song until right now. At the same damn time. Yes, Jake, I am live on both. YT is actually my hub. It's where all my stories live. Hi, KJ. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Robin. I love the star map of Polaris. And thank you for the cozy cryptids. Thank you for the pillow fight, Megan. That's so cute. James got the super fan. Congrats, James. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Megan. That's so cute. Hi, Heather. Thank you, Robin. I love that window reminds me of Peter Pan. Taylor, me neither. I've never won a single one. Thank you for the potato in Paris. Oh my gosh, Robin. Look at the Robins tag teaming showing me love right now. Thank you guys. Oh my God, those chests were so pretty. It's like the Blue Angels. It's like a Robin tag team. Oh, James, I can tell you so many. Next, I'd like you to start with 2 Chainz. Okay? Riding around and getting it. Okay, and then Riot. And then Marble Floors, which I think is actually, is that a Rick Ross or French Montana song? Anyway, I can send you a list. But since you started with Waka Flocka, I don't even have to ease into it. Yeah, titty boy. That's right, Jerry. And Rose. I know, it's very weird, the penchant I have for rap music, but it has been a lifelong love affair since I was literally buying The Chronic 2001 with my lunch money. And I never looked back. Thank you, Robin, for the corgi booty. And then, like, I eased in and, like, I started hearing, like, drama. Or do you remember, like, live. Kim and I, like, the first time when Kim and I first became friends, I feel like this is how I, like, oh my gosh. Meow. I love it. Look back at it. Yeah. I am so high like a... I paid $1,000 for my speakers. Sound of the bed. Beat it up. Then I get some head. Then I might get some head. Then I'll beat it up. Okay, anyway, that was so cute, right? Lily the leopard's the cutest thing I've ever seen. But Kim, I think I impressed her the first time because we came up, we were all in boxes talking, and then we were like talking about old school jams, and we were putting on songs, and I was like, okay, here's one, put on drama. Like, what was it called? Forward March or something? Live. And she was like, what? Because I'm like obsessed with the bass in that song. If you used to have subwoofers, you'd understand that that song's bass is damn good. Thank you, Robin. And like, I still have the bass beat memorized in my head. Like, I know exactly how the bass goes. Yep, exactly, Kim. And that was like, what I feel like that really got me. Like, them and Master P. Like, the really hard, like, for like the pretty hard shit for being like 15. And I was like, this is it. This feels right in my soul. This makes my body move. Like, this is the stuff that I want to listen to. Hi, Anthony. We got an OG Porchy in the house. Anthony. All right, be right back. Quick swig. Also, I just remembered that he also talked about Chevys. No wonder. Because remember he said, get some key with my Chevy. So he was in a Chevy too. Interesting. That's going in the data. Thank you, Robin. There's another treasure box. You just scrolled. The first thing I hear is the anyway. Which ending, Lindy? Which ending? Sorry. Yes, Robin. Thank you for spoiling me. You're so sweet. Guys, thank you so much. That was so sweet. The pillow fight one. The fact that they're cat pillows makes it 1,000 times. And you know what's so funny is Robin just sent me hanging lights too. A third Robin. Y'all. 3 robins. This is so cute. I'm going to take a screenshot. You guys are so funny and cute. It's like a robin palooza. Yeah. R-I-B or R-O-B-I-N. Robin. Yeah. Thanks, Robin. She's so cute too. I just looked at her picture. Do you have a horse? Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I love horses, Robin. I just followed you. Can I be friends with your horse? I tried to liberate a horse once, and then one of my best friends reminded me that it was a crime. She talked me out of it. What mic am I using? Oh, thank you, Jake. I am using a Shure mic. Shure mic. You should sponsor me. People ask me this every day. So, an AI scanning. Shure. S-H-U-R-E. And her name is Shirley. Kim named her. Shirley E. Court. Yes, Jake. The Shure MV7. How'd you know? It's literally, I protect it like a child. Like I'm flying for the first time with it. It's the MV7. I'm flying for the first time with it. Yes, it is an amazing mic. And it's literally the best like choice ever. Like my dad actually helped me pick it out because he knows everything and he picked out the best one ever. And I'm flying for the first time with it, and I'll tell you what, right now, I'm taking Shirley in my backpack. Bitch is not being checked. She's riding in my lap. And I'm not kidding. And she's heavy. I don't even care. She's going through security with me. They're going to be like, what? Like her stand is going to go in my suitcase, but she's coming with me. Yep, she's in the carry-on. She's not getting bumped around and she's not getting stolen because Shure this is a high-end mic. And it was an investment, so I'm not willing to risk it. Oh, Robin, you'll make it. And guess what? You can fall asleep in here with us, Robin. Just sit back and relax. You can snooze here. Totally fine. You want to know a trick so you won't click into somebody else's live? Go to my profile and enter my live through my profile picture instead of through your feed. And it won't kick you into somebody else's live from your feed because the feed is just an active scrolling feed. But if you go through a direct link from me or from like into my profile, then here, I'll send it to you right now. If you can go in through my link, you'll stay and you won't be able to swipe out. Jessa, thank you for your first gift ever. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So everybody falls asleep in here, Robin. We're all snoozing. And then you just wake up to a black screen instead of like somebody trying to sell you crystals, you know? Thank you guys for the cute shamrocks. All right, be right back. KJ, I'll send it to you. Maybe it will work when I send it to you. Hold on. Okay, KJ, I just sent it to you in a message. Try it that way. To a black eye? I hope not. Oh, you mean dropping your phone? No, most people just probably like set it beside them. But I have actually gotten a black eye from dropping my phone on my nose before. I had 2 black eyes. I've also had 2 black eyes from a couple other ways. I've literally had 2 black eyes 3 or 4 times. KJ, that's so strange. I don't understand. Maybe send the live to yourself. Oh yeah, some people are saying it's been glitchy lately over here on YT as well. They're saying they came over here because they can't. So if you do want to fall asleep and you can't do that on TT without getting kicked into another, you can always watch on YT. Just lock screen and it won't leave. That makes sense. Who got the superfan box? There's so much going on right now. I missed it. Thank you, Jessa. Jessa's first gift, and she's going to town now on the clovers. She's like, wee! Thanks, Jessa, for your first gift. It's an honor. It didn't say who got it. Lady Rose got it. Yay! Thank you, James. Thank you, Eric. Am I missing something about the clovers? Did I miss something about the clovers? Or are they just something you just guys like them? Or is it did I miss the... Because everybody just started giving clovers at the same time. I didn't know if there was like a... Did I miss a joke or something? Sue, thank you for your first gift ever. Oh my goodness. You got your first gift too. You guys, thank you. It's such an honor when people decide to give their first gift to a host. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I reckon too, Rich. I reckon too. It was in the treasure box and it helps you rank up. Oh, the clovers do? Thanks. I didn't know that, Taylor. See, I knew there had to be a reason because everybody all of a sudden just started giving the clovers and I was like, cool. Eric, thanks for the fireworks. And hi, Rachie. Thanks for the cozy cryptids. You guys are just showing me so much love tonight. I'm like beaming. Thank you so much. I'll be right back. And it's very much appreciated as well because I am going to Tahoe next week and I'm going to visit one of my friends who doesn't really cook. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be like eating out every single meal. And so I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to end up spending like, you know, because Tahoe's not cheap. So 2 treasure boxes. Oh my goodness, you guys. They aren't showing up for me anymore. The first one did. This is glitching for some reason. Thank you so much, whoever sent them. I'm sorry I can't see who. Oh, here we go. Megan, thank you. Thank you so much, Megan. Yeah, Robin, I guess you're right. I didn't even think about that. Hi, Leela. Oh, Sherry, that's cute. I didn't know that. Instead of superfan, it gives you clovers to send. That's cute. And random. I wonder why. Like, I wonder what the clovers are for. That's cute. Thanks, guys. See, I knew there was a reason because it was just like I didn't make it a goal or anything, and all of a sudden I started getting them. Thank you, guys. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of the winter in Whispering Pines, also known as the Mad Scientist. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Jessa. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, Millie. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Boone. Thanks, Nate. There's something about winter storms that strips away every illusion of control we think we have. You can plan, prepare, check the forecast 100 times. But when nature decides to cut you off from the rest of the world, you're helpless. And that's the lesson I learned last winter when Chelsea and I decided to rent a cabin in a place called Whispering Pines. Chelsea had found the listing online, an old family-owned property deep in Appalachia. It was advertised as rustic but comfortable, with hiking trails, a fireplace, and a hot tub. It sounded perfect for our little bestie escape, a way to recharge after a stressful holiday season. Thank you, Elaine. The place was remote, but that was part of the appeal. No phones, no email, no noise, just snow, silence, and best friends. We drove up early to beat the incoming snowstorm. The sky was already a heavy gray by the time we turned off the main road onto a narrow lane flanked by towering pines. Thank you, Nate. That was cute. The cabin itself was tucked so far back into the forest that we didn't even see it until we were practically on the doorstep. It was quaint, sure, but there was an edge to its charm, like it had been through some stuff. The wood siding was weathered, the shutters askew, and a small shed out back leaned to one side. But the inside was cozy enough. Knotty pine walls, a wood stove in the corner, and the unmistakable scent of old furniture. The owner had left a note on the counter welcoming us and apologizing for the lack of modern amenities. By the time we unloaded the car, the snow was coming down hard. Big heavy flakes that piled up fast. We weren't worried though. We'd brought enough food for a week, and we had the wood stove for heat. If anything, the storm felt like an adventure. But that first night, I had trouble sleeping. It wasn't the wind. I had expected that. There was a scratching sound. Faint at first, like the creak of a tree branch against the roof, but then it moved. It started at one corner of the cabin and then it crept along the wall. And then it stopped abruptly near the back door. I kept telling myself it was just a raccoon or maybe a loose shutter. But still, I didn't sleep much after that. By morning, the snow was knee-deep, and the sky showed no sign of clearing. The forecast had called for 12 inches, but we were already well past that. Chelsea suggested we check out the shed to see if there was a snow shovel or some way to dig us out. The shed was barely standing, its roof sagging under the weight of the snow. Inside, it was cluttered with old tools, gardening supplies, and a rusted snowblower. But what really caught our attention was a trapdoor in the corner, hidden under a tarp. It wasn't locked, it was just stuck from years of not being used. Chelsea pried it open with a crowbar, revealing a steep staircase leading down into darkness. We didn't go down. Not then. Chelsea said we should leave it alone, and I didn't argue. But that night, the scratching came back, louder this time. It started just after midnight. The same creeping sound along the walls. Then came the thuds, slow, deliberate, like someone pounding on the logs with a closed fist. Chelsea and I sat frozen in the living room, staring at the front door. The wood stove cast flickering shadows across the walls. And for a moment, I thought I saw something move outside the frosted window. We tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was an animal, maybe the wind, but when the sound shifted to the roof, our excuses fell apart. Whatever it was heavy, and it had jumped onto the roof. Hi, Cassie. The next morning, we found the tracks. They circled the cabin, deep impressions in the snow that didn't look like any footprints I've ever seen. They were elongated, almost claw-like. Chelsea and they led all the way to the shed. Chelsea insisted that we check what was down there. This time, we brought a flashlight. The stairs creaked under our weight as we descended into the small, dirt-floored room. The walls were lined with old shelves, and in the corner stood a wooden chest. It wasn't locked, just latched shut. But opening it felt like a mistake. Inside were jars, dozens of them, filled with a viscous black liquid. Some had strange objects floating inside. Teeth, bones, unidentifiable shapes. A piece of paper was taped to the underside of the lid, covered in handwriting so shaky and smudged it was barely legible. The only words I could make out were, "Property of Dr. A. Ward, W-A-R-D. Doctor? Jars full of body parts? This was giving mad scientist vibes, and I was not here for it. We left the shed and decided to call for help, but our phones had no signal, and the storm had buried the car. There was no walking out with snow that deep. That night, the scratching and banging started again. But this time it wasn't just on the walls or the roof, it was coming from that shed. By the time we worked up the courage to go look, the trap door was open and the chest was gone. We didn't sleep after that. At one point, Chelsea swore she saw a figure standing at the edge of the woods, just barely visible in the moonlight. When dawn broke, we made a run for it. It didn't matter that the snow was still falling or that the nearest town was miles away. We could not stay another night. We never made it to town. About halfway down the road, we were intercepted by a snowplow. The driver, a burly man in his 50s, told us the storm had stranded several travelers and offered to take us back to his place until the roads cleared. We didn't tell him about the cabin, or the trap door, or the sounds. But as we rode in the plow's cab, I glanced at the cabin one last time, and something was standing on the roof. It was tall, impossibly thin, with limbs that bent in unnatural angles. Thank you, Rhiannon. Thanks, Dallas. It watched us until the cabin disappeared from view. When we pulled up to the tow truck driver's cabin, an old hound dog ran out to greet him. As we pet the dog, Chelsea and I both sighed a breath of relief, that the kind of peace that only a little furry friend can bestow. When we got inside, the man rushed down a dark hallway, and Chelsea and I both looked at each other nervously. It's pretty much every intelligent woman's cardinal rule to not get into the car and go home with a strange man. But we were desperate. And weighing our two options, our odds seemed better with this old dude in his cabin than with whatever it was I saw standing on the roof of ours. Thank you, Cassie. Thanks, Rich. Or so I thought. The man emerged from the back of the house with 2 lush, fluffy bath towels and 2 pairs of men's XL sweatpants. He chuckled sheepishly and said, "Sorry, ladies, us mountain men don't really have the best accommodations for 2 young ladies such as yourselves. But they're warmer than what you've got on." His accent was odd. I couldn't place it. It almost sounded like German, but like he was trying to hide it. We both looked at each other, dripping wet in our snow-soaked jeans. And we let out a grateful giggle as we grabbed the towels and the sweatpants. After guiding us to his spare bedroom, he asked us if we would like something to drink. He mentioned that he's a big hot chocolate fan, and he has a special recipe handed down to him from his German ancestors. Being of German descent myself, and also a chocolate fiend, without thinking I immediately accept his offer for some of that sweet, toasty cocoa. Chelsea smiled sheepishly and nodded her head in agreement that she would love a cup too. She asked him if he could show her the bathroom, and she told me she'd meet me out there whenever I was done, and she closed the door behind me. Thank you, Catherine, for your first gift. His cabin was cozy, with a roaring fire. Unique 1940s vintage decor scattered throughout. And then I noticed what appeared to be a charging cord sticking out from underneath the bed. I bent down to pull it out, hoping to give my phone just a little juice. As I pull on it, I realize it's stuck in a plastic storage box. I slide the box out from under the bed, and what I see next makes my stomach churn. The whole box is filled with cell phones, chargers, and wallets. Pink, pastel, glittery colors. These looked like women's phones. I grab the first wallet I see and I open it up. Inside is an ID for Tiffany Jenkins from Indiana. Checking the date quickly, I notice that the ID is expired. And then Chelsea calls my name from the living room. I frantically shove the box back under the bed and I shuffle out of the room. Hi, Songbird. I join Chelsea, who is already downing her hot cocoa next to a crackling fire. The man is still in the kitchen making up my cup of German chocolate brew when I whisper to Chelsea about the box under the bed. First thing she says is that it sounds like it's just he slangs fake IDs and old cell phones for extra cash. And I nodded. We did have a friend in college who did that, and he always had spare, expired IDs laying around. So I just let it go. Then the man came back with my mug of piping hot cocoa. Now this was the darkest and thickest hot chocolate I've ever seen. He wasn't kidding about it being a secret recipe, because it must have been very dark chocolate. Even as creamy as it was very bitter. I took one sip and I set it down. I started to realize the stressful events of the past few days had really caught up to us because I noticed that Chelsea was already dozing off on the couch. I guess a cozy fireplace will do that to you. Then the doorbell rings, and the man strolls over to the front door and steps out onto the porch, closing the door behind him. It's a delivery driver with a package. Hello, I have a delivery for Dr. Adolph Ward. And then it hits me. It was him. He was the owner of the trunk in the shed. He was the one we were trying to escape this whole time. Oh my God. The black liquid, did he put that black liquid from those jars in our drinks? Oh my God. Without even thinking, I jump up and I run back into the spare room. I pull my phone off the charger and I decide that I'm going to crawl out that damn window and run. I will go get help and I will come back for my bestie. Because if we both get stuck here, we have zero hope of surviving this. So, there I am, in giant, oversized, creepy dude sweatpants, running through the woods in a snowstorm. What the hell was I thinking? I kept running for what seemed like forever, until a faint light through the snow off in the distance. Now, I do not handle cold weather well, so at this point, I am running out of steam. But I just keep pushing myself, realizing that this is literally life or death at this point. As I finally make it to the edge of the woods, I basically trip from my momentum and I fall out of the tree line and into the parking lot of a Bojangles. Now, anyone who knows me knows how much I love a good breakfast biscuit and a sweet tea from Bojangles. But I had never been happier in my life to see that glowing yellow and red chicken sign than I was in that very moment. The employees inside Bojangles helped me call the police, and they were on the scene quickly. They drove me back up to where the man's cabin was. Yes, Bo-berry biscuits. And where the cabin had been sat an old run-down cabin that looked like nobody had been inside for 50 years. What? Then the police say, oh, that can't be the place. Nobody's lived there since that creepy German man who owned all this land up here disappeared. You know, there were always rumors he was an escaped Nazi from Germany. You know, one of those mad scientists that the government pardoned and brought over here for the space race. A lot of kids say that they see orbs and that this place is haunted. What? How could there be no cabin there? My best friend was just drugged on the couch inside that cabin next to a raging fire. And now it's somehow morphed into the shack? This can't be happening. Oh my gosh, thanks, Brooke. I filed a missing persons report for Chelsea, but I wasn't going to let this go. Hi, Sam. The police drove me up the path to our rental cabin and helped me dig out my car. And they followed me back down the mountain and made sure I got on the highway safely. The drive home was spent in silence, trying to figure out what the hell just happened to me. I love you too, Sam. Was he a ghost? Did he find a way to manipulate space-time? Was that a time rift? Where, or should I say when, is that evil man keeping my best friend? All I know is I'm never going to stop trying to find her. And if you ever find a good deal on a cabin in the Appalachian Mountains at a place called Whispering Pines. Don't go. And Rich, that's not true. I've only lost two friends. Okay, I've only lost 2 friends in these stories. And Chelsea's come into the live and said hi, so you guys know that she's okay. Yeah. Because Rich said, I lose a friend every story or 2. I was like, I've only lost 2, okay? Way to exaggerate. And the time slip one, wasn't really... How could I stop a time slip? Like, I didn't lose her. She was sucked into something. What would you have done, Rich? Thrown her over your back and climbed out the back window and tried to run with her limp body? Diana, I only check my email like once a month. But whenever I get them, I respond. So you will know when I get it. Thank you, Diana, for sending suggestions. I really appreciate it. I used to have a job that email never stopped coming in when I was a news reporter, and I'd get emails about like a baby found floating in a lake and shit in like the middle of the night, and my nervous system was just fucked. And so I kind of just made a no email every single day rule after that, and it's really helped a lot. I understand if you have a job where you have to, but since I don't, it's kind of one of those things I said goodbye to find peace. So I check my email periodically, but it is not like a guaranteed, it's not one of those like, yep. Yeah. So that is actually why I don't check my email very often, is because I used to check it every 20 minutes and it was ruining my life. And I don't want to be that girl ever again. So it's not that I don't appreciate it or am ignoring you guys or anything like that. I just have a little bit of a trauma with email, and I get anxiety about checking it. And so I check it but I'll tell you what, I'm going on a flight this week and I have 2 major layovers. So I'm probably just going to sit there and write them all down and check my email while I'm chilling at the airport, Aw, thanks, Jennifer. You're sweet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same aunt. Yeah. Plus it's so much spam. Yeah, that it's like you have to sort through. Luckily, my Porch Lore one isn't really spammed out yet. Luckily. So it's not that bad. But yeah, I just, yeah. So that's full transparency. That's why I don't check my email that much. I decided to start being, present and not letting my phone, because I'm not gonna lie, there was a time in my life where every single time it buzzed, I was having anxiety. It was like I didn't even want to look at it. And so that is just not part of my life anymore, and I'm grateful. But I do love to check the story suggestions and write them all down, so I promise I will. Love you guys. Aunt Sashi, I'm so sorry that happened. And B, that's genius. You're so smart. That's so smart. Everybody give Aunt Sashi some love. Her ceiling collapsed this week, and that's terrible. Six years later, that's so funny. Hi, local witchy aunt. How are you doing? It's so nice to see you. How you doing, cutie pie? Yeah, Robin, me too. Me too, girl. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you'll find me. I also have all of the links in my bio. I'm going to set up the next poll. Emily, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm doing that, if you could hit that little share arrow in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little yellow circle that looks like two arrows chasing each other, and it says repost. That puts the live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch with cool people. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. Thank you so much. And I'll be right back with the next poll. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. You guys, I just noticed that the porch video is not moving. No one told me. Look at the fire's not moving or anything. Like, what? Sorry. I have no idea how that happened. There we go. I finally fixed it. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. Check out the shooting stars now that they're actually shooting. And welcome to the porch. I'll be right back with the next poll. All right, you guys. The next poll is ready. We have the bottle trees, the White Witch of Rose Hall, the Deer Woman, the Masked Visitor, and Haint Blue. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. If you're on TT, you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? Hi, Lorna. We miss you. How you doing, cutie? Thank you, Dominique. Right, Justin? The winner is the masked visitor. Oh, be careful, Diana. Also, Justin's right. This is the background for this story is a picture of me when I was 7. So get ready. Thank you, Kayla. Also, this story is a reworking. This premise has been used in Are You Afraid of the Dark, Twilight Zone, and a more modern show, which is what I based my reworking off of. So, if any of you guys if you already know what it is, don't spoil it for the newbies. But if throughout the time you start to figure out what show this is from, feel free to guess. Be right back. Hi, Leslie. How you doing, cutie? Thank you, Angelfish. Thank you, Viola. Thank you, Brooke. It's so cute. Yeah, Brooke, her little drum. There's me, age 7. Court. I know, right, Cody? Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the masked visitor. Thank you, Brooke. Making it rain. Yeah, that's usually what happens with puberty, you know? It's only 7 here, so yeah, you would think. Make it rain. You like that, Brooke? Do you actually know who that is? Do you know who I'm quoting when I say that? Because it's actually not rap. But there is a song that's like, make it rain, Drake, make it rain, Drake. But I'm actually quoting a Philip Seymour Hoffman from Along Came Polly. When he's like, make it rain! And he always misses the basket. Oh, Jessica, you knew. You knew. You knew. Okay, yep. I loved him. I thought he was so funny. God, I miss him. I miss him as Dusty and Twister. Twister's like one of my happy places. Yes, and he coined Sharded. He was a legend. But yeah, the make it rain was... And he always was like not even close. It was just really comedic genius that he would be so off and act like he was just gonna make it rain. Like, yeah, so that's why I do that every time you guys do the money guns, is kind of tribute to him. Because I love him. Oh, really, Brooke? Yeah, I used to storm chase. I'm still obsessed with it, and that's my favorite movie, like, of all time. Yes, me too, Leslie. He was so good in that too. He's pretty much so good in everything he's ever been in. All right, submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the masked visitor. Halloween had draped its shadow over Ridgemont, a town where time seemed to slow down, especially on nights like this. The streets were lined with century-old oak trees, and wind whispered as the last trick-or-treaters scurried home. The Brenner house, perched at the corner, was glowing in the dim light of the pumpkin decorations on the porch. Inside, the 4 sisters, Lindsay, Taylor, Emily, and Sophie, had returned from their Halloween escapade, the sound of their laughter still echoing in the hallway. Sophie, the youngest, bounced with her candy bucket, steps frantic, still caught in the energy and excitement of the evening. But while the girls buzzed around Christina, their mother was distracted. An unexpected work call had pulled her attention, and with a disappointed sigh, she packed her bag, and Christina explained to the girls that she had to leave for a bit, but their grandma Sharon would be there soon, and so would their friends for their sleepover. The mention of the sleepover perked up the girls. Kelsey and Haley, their best friends from next door, would join. And then there was Brenda. At the mere mention of Brenda's name, a silence fell over the girls. Brenda was a girl from school, someone none of the sisters particularly liked. She was uppity and could sometimes be outright mean. Christina reminded the girls to always be kind, even when others were not. Plus, she had already promised Brenda's mother, so the decision was final. The girls sighed, exchanging uneasy glances. Yes, bed of dust. I love that. Can you figure it out? Their excitement dimmed slightly. But Grandma Sharon's arrival soon restored the cheer. The girls adored her laid-back, mischievous nature. And as soon as she stepped through the door, the house felt lighter. After a brief catch-up, Grandma Sharon sunk into the couch to enjoy a Halloween movie marathon. And the girls descended to the basement. A makeshift playroom that doubled as their spooky storytelling space. The girls were ready for a night of laughter and fright. The basement was always a source of comfort for the sisters, but now the energy felt different. Shadows danced along the walls, stirred by the soft glow of their flashlights. Lindsay, always the leader, started with a haunted house story. Her voice shaky as the other girls huddled close. Yes, Kayla, I already explained that this is based off of a show. She embellished the tale, adding eerie details, but just as the tension peaked, the basement door creaked open and everyone froze. Standing in the doorway was Grandma Sharon. And beside her stood a girl, her face obscured by a mask. It was Brenda. The room chilled as she entered, and Brenda didn't speak. She didn't even greet the other girls, she just stood there, stiff and still. Sharon gave the girls a gentle warning to behave, and retired back upstairs to continue her movie. An awkward silence blanketed the group. The girls tried to include Brenda, offering her candy and commenting on her mask and costume, but she remained mute, watching them through the eyes of her mask. The unease crept in deeper. Lindsay attempted to restart the spooky stories, but Brenda's silence hung over them like a weight. And once it was Haley's turn to share a ghost story, her voice faltered. Brenda's presence was unsettling. Each girl cast nervous glances at one another, hoping someone would break the tension. When Brenda finally spoke, she said that she had a really scary story, and she asked if the girls wanted to hear it. They all excitingly agreed that now it was Brenda's turn to tell a scary story. And did she ever? Her voice was flat and devoid of any emotion as she began to speak about a little girl who had misbehaved so badly that her parents locked her in her room and set a fire outside the door, intending to burn her alive. The girl screamed and struggled to escape, but there were bars on her windows. She squeezed through the bars, but the flames burned her as she tried to get out. The story ended abruptly, with no twist or scare, just leaving the girls confused and horrified. But Brenda wasn't done. She suggested that they finish her story somewhere scarier, somewhere fitting for the end of her tale. The cemetery at the end of the block. The suggestion of the cemetery at the end of the block sent a shiver through the group. It was an old, neglected place that none of them dared to visit after dark. The air felt colder at the mere mention of it, but it was Halloween after all. They were kids, and the promise of something truly spooky was too good to pass up. Brenda guided them, and sneaking out was easy. Grandma Sharon had dozed off on the couch during her movie marathon, so they were able to slip out the back unnoticed. The quiet night outside was starkly different from the warmth and safety of their home. The wind whistled through the trees, casting long shadows under the streetlights. As they made their way to the cemetery, the cemetery gates creaked loudly, their echo swallowed by the vast darkness inside. Once within the cemetery, the atmosphere thickened. The gravestones, some crumbling with age, jutted out like jagged teeth, and a chill wrapped around them as if they weren't alone. Brenda led them, her steps certain, until they reached an empty grave. The earth was freshly dug. The other girls hesitated, looking at each other with growing unease. This was no place for games. But Brenda insisted. She pointed at Sophie, the youngest and smallest, and said, "Lie down." Sophie's heart raced. She glanced at her sisters, hoping they would protest, but no one moved. The silent pressure from Brenda and the weight of the group pushed her forward. Shaking, Sophie climbed into the grave, laying down on the cold earth. She looked up at the starless sky, her breath trembling in the crisp air. Back at the Brenner house, Sharon had been startled awake by the ringing of the phone. It was Mrs. Lillard, Brenda's mother, apologizing for her daughter's absence this evening. Brenda had fallen ill and had gone to bed early. Sharon's eyes widened as Mrs. Lillard explained that Brenda had been in bed all night. Sharon's heart sank. Wait, if Brenda was at home, who was with her granddaughters? Frantically, Sharon rushed to the basement, only to find it empty. The girls were gone. Panic took over, and she immediately called Christina, telling her to come home. The pieces began to fit together. Whoever had come to that sleepover hidden behind that mask was not Brenda. At the cemetery, Brenda stood at the edge of the open grave, and she spoke of the girl who had been so burned by her parents that she couldn't leave the house. But on Halloween night, she could wear a mask and walk among the living, unnoticed and unafraid. As Brenda spoke, she reached up and slowly removed her mask. The girls gasped in horror as they saw her face. Melted skin, hollow eyes, a mouth contorted into a permanent scream. It was not the face of Brenda Lillard. It was the face of someone burned and broken. Something that didn't belong to the world of the living anymore. Terror exploded through the group and the girls screamed, scrambling to exit the graveyard. Brenda didn't move, but she watched them flee, laughing, and it echoed through the cold wind. Sharon arrived just as the girls stumbled out of the cemetery, their faces pale, their bodies trembling. Christina pulled up moments later, her face filled with fear. The girls pointed to the mask lying in the grass, and between sobs, they told the story of the phantom girl who had come to their sleepover. Then Sharon told them that Brenda had never actually arrived at the house. The Brenner family stood there in stunned silence as they realized the truth. A ghost had walked among them, a phantom hiding behind a mask, seeking out her one night to go unnoticed among the living. The Brenners hurried back to their house, leaving the cemetery and the phantom behind. The mask still lying in the grass near the grave seemed to shimmer in the moonlight, waiting for the next Halloween, when the ghostly girl would return to walk among the living once again. And that's the tale of the masked visitor. And for those of you who are trying to rack your brain and figure, oh, Ghostina, thanks for the Rose microphone. Thank you. For those of you trying to rack your brain on what that episode that was a reworking of, that was from the show Evil. And when I saw it in Evil, they already did that exact same storyline in Are You Afraid of the Dark and Twilight Zone. And so I was like, you know what? It's really fun that they did this again in a modern show, because we don't really get that a lot. So I thought I would pay tribute to it. Because if you guys remember in Are You Afraid of the Dark, it was Old Man Corcoran and his harmonica in the cemetery when they played with all the kids who were dead. Remember? And they didn't know until they saw the kids' graves. Oh, this was on the show Evil, as well as Are You Afraid of the Dark and Twilight Zone. But the modern show was Evil. Angelfish, that one. Wait, which shelter are you talking about? There's two that are like that. Oh yeah, Ghostina. It's just called Evil, and it's about the Catholic Church and like how they try to do exorcisms, but it's like really actually dark comedy. It's really good. Oh yeah, Angelfish, that's called Rain Crow Shelter, or it's actually just called The Names in the Logbook. That's the real name for it. And if you're ever curious, all of the story titles are on the Discord. There's a list that Lovely updates every week. It's Lorna. It's a really funny show. It's good. It shows like it's actually based off people from the Catholic Church who, like a team of people who go do exorcisms, and it walks you through like what their days are like. But it's really funny. People call it Rain Crow Shelter because people ask for the story without actually knowing, like, so it's called both. It does have rain. What are you talking about? It's raining the whole story. And the actual title is The Names in the Logbook. And I didn't name the shelter. The Appalachian Trail Association did. And it's probably based off of indigenous land. Hi, Dr. O. Welcome in, everybody. My name's Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you'll find me. I also have all of the links in my bio. Thank you, Riley. And I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? There's a little yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that little yellow circle puts the live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch. Truth and Daniel, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the porch. Yeah, I think it's a glitch tonight, Rich. I just keep getting it to work again and it stops, so I don't really care anymore. Because I have no idea what the hell is wrong with TikTok, but it's supposed to, it's never done this before, and it keeps doing it even though I get it restarted, so I don't really know what the hell its problem is. I don't really care. Thank you, lovely. And sorry guys, sequels are not happening anytime soon. I have a list of over like 100 story suggestions and certain people who ask me every week if I'm gonna cover their story yet or not. So we're not revisiting topics anytime soon, sorry. Well, I've had 2 people mention sequels to stories tonight, and I'm like, no, that's not happening anytime soon. Sorry, guys. Nope, got a lot of folklore to cover. Stephen, what is it? A haunted cup? A magic cup? Thank you, Ken. You're on the cool side of TikTok now. Thank you, Riley. That was so cute. Wait, Cody, I'm curious. What did you think needs a sequel on La Lechuza, though? Because I understand people wanting a sequel to the Chelsea story, but La Lechuza wasn't really open, like... oh, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it is. You're right. You're right. There could be a sequel to that one. Someday I'll do sequels, but not anytime soon. But you know what? In like a couple years, the OGs, you guys are going to like... It'd be so exciting. I'll be like, for everybody who remembers the original stories, here's the sequel. Yeah, I remember Cody. Yep, because I said I don't know what she wants from us, but I guess we'll find out. Yep, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that. Thank you, Miss V. I don't know, CJ hasn't been coming very much. On live action, that's funny, Skrilla. Ken, thank you for your first gift ever. What an honor. Thank you for the rose. Welcome to the porch. Your corgi's listening with you, Mythos. I love that. Tell your dog I said woof. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have the bottle trees, which is the new story of the week. We have the fairy trees. Yes, I do, Cody. I do have a story on the Jersey Devil. It's called the Pine Barrens Beast. All right, we have the bottle trees, and thank you to those of you who answer questions in the chat. I really appreciate it. The chat goes very fast, and it is hard for me to catch everything. We have bottle trees, the fairy trees, Haint Blue, the Wyoming Little People, and the Dead Children's Playground. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box, and you can vote for more than one story. And you can vote up to 50 times. Who's it gonna be? Cody, it's also the only story I have about the Pine Barrens, so you should be able to spot it from like with the title on YT. You know what I mean? Just go to like the bedtime stories playlist, and that's all of the bedtime stories, and you should just be able to see one that's like this New Jersey cryptid, or something like that. Brooke, you're not allowed to threaten people for voting for stories they want to hear. All right, guys, 1 minute left on the clock. If you want to vote, do it now. We have the bottle trees, the fairy trees, who are both losers and have 0 votes. You guys, really? You're going to give the elementals 0? And then we also have Haint Blue, Wyoming Little People, and the Playground. Who's it going to be? Logo. I am terrible with acronyms, so I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't ever know what my mind like goes blank when I see I don't know. I might be a fan of it, but I don't know what those letters mean. Hi, Daryl. Welcome. Or Darren. Oh my God, Darren, welcome back. Darren, where have you been? Where have you been? We missed you. Darren, hi. Glad to have you back. Hi, Lily. Miss you. And the winner is Haint Blue. I really thought it was going to be the Wyoming Little People. But I guess Brooke's threat scared enough of y'all. SCP Foundation government that looks up supernatural, or looks up or locks up. Wait a minute. Locks up? I'm gonna have to give that a Goog logo. Hi, Maria. Thank you, Cam Slam. No, but like SCP, is that they lock up or do you mean they look up? What do you mean? And I actually don't know a lot of Japanese folklore and I would love it. I want to do some Japanese folklore. Because I actually watched this Japanese folklore show and it scared the shit out of me. It was really creepy and I don't even remember what it was called. I feel like it was a fever dream. I feel like I like hallucinated it, but it like sucked me in and I feel like I watched the whole, I stayed up till like till dawn watching it one night. And then I was like, did I just get possessed or something? Not really, but like the show was like entrancing and like it was creepy and very weird and like it was scary. And I was like, dude, and I'm not this, it's like not easy to scare me. Humans scare me, but like it's not easy to scare me with that kind of stuff, and it scared me. Oh, okay, I'll look it up, logo. It sounds kind of like a thing made up on Reddit, but I'll have to look it up. Yeah, Cam Slam. Humans scare me more than anything. I'm not even kidding. Like, my friend, he did a live stream through the woods of England in the middle of the night once, and he had never done like a night one. And he was like, there was like a shadow up ahead, and he was like, oh my God, is somebody up there hiding behind that tree? Because it looked like a shadow from like someone hiding behind the tree or something. And then he was like freaking out that it might be a ghost. And I was like, dude. So I WhatsApped him. I texted him, side noted on the live. And I was like, you need to make sure that's not a human. I don't care that if it's a ghost, who gives a shit? You need to make sure that's not a human about to jump your ass in the wood. Like, and then he was like, oh crap, oh my God, you're right, that's scarier. I was like, yeah, that's a lot scarier than a ghost. So like I would literally choose a bear or a ghost over a human in the woods. Like, because like a bear, we know why you're there. And a ghost, you're probably haunting the place. But a human, what the hell are you doing? Yikos. Yikos. Who's Don? I don't know who Don is. I have no idea who Don is. Oh, wait, are you talking about Don from Tales of the Graveyard? Don, the one that made me the... Dawn. I stayed up until dawn watching the show, you weirdo. DAWN, like when the sun comes up. But the guy who made me the happy birthday Mothman cake background on his live, his name is actually Don. So... Yeah, like Zoe's middle name. Bam. Blow. Blow. Oh, and Dawn. Dawn said, is someone summoning me? Hi, Dawn. You're right, Sherry, but he thought I said D-O-N, Don. And I literally used context clues. I said, I stayed up watching the show till dawn. Till what, a dude? That doesn't even make sense. Or a woman named Dawn, Sherry. Neither of those make sense. It's based on Southern folklore. That's cool. I don't play video games, but that sounds really interesting. I love Southern Gothic folklore. It's called South of Midnight. Interesting. Actually, somebody told me about that before. Yeah, true, Sherry. And I was just proven correct again, wasn't I? Alexa, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Dawn, I like the E. What do you mean? Maybe your mom was on E. No, I'm just kidding. Dr. O, to answer your question, blam. Blam. To answer your question, first of all, the Appalachian Mountains are the oldest mountain range in the world. There's also the largest cave system in the entire world is under the Appalachian Mountains, and only 2% of that has been explored, and that is the part that's in Kentucky, Mammoth Cave System. So the largest cave system in the world is underneath it, and we have never explored it. We don't know where it goes. We don't know how deep it is. We don't know where it's connected to. We don't even know if it goes under the oceans and through another continent. We have no fucking clue. So first of all, that's part of the reason, because we don't know what's in those caves, where it leads, where it's coming, because we don't really know a whole lot about caves or portals or energy rifts or anything like that. But then add on top of that the Appalachian Mountains not only used to be volcanic, but they are made almost entirely out of quartz. And quartz is a gigantic conductor. It's a energy amplifier, which I've told the Tesla story a million times. So they resonate energy at a crazy, and my belief system is that they open time rifts or tears in the fabric of different dimensions, and that things slip through. That's my theory, because it's a lot of random creatures. There are reports of sightings of the same creature over and over again, but not that often. Not that often. And contrary to popular belief that everyone says, skinwalkers do not live in Appalachia. That is a Navajo only tradition. That is from the Navajo. Now, shape-shifting entities that are elementals, yes, but are they called skinwalkers? Nope. That is a Navajo word. And that is a Navajo belief. Shapeshifters are elementals, and they have different names around the entire world, but for some reason everyone calls them skinwalkers because of that stupid fucking show. But that show was, guess what, in Navajo country, has nothing to do with Appalachia. So just wanted to clear that up. In Appalachia we call them the Rikes. Yeah, Reich, and they're horrifying, but they're still elemental shapeshifters. They're also the same thing the Boo Hag is. She shapeshifts as well, or mimics. Cultures around the world have made up names for the same things. So when people ask me, do you have stories on skinwalkers? I'm like, I don't even know how to answer that. Do I have stories on shapeshifting elemental? Yes. But do I have one on Navajo tradition-based skinwalkers? No. So I hope that clears it up. I'll be right back with Haint Blue. Yes, Madam Purple, the Appalachian Mountains are in fact older than trees. You are correct. They are the oldest mountains in the world, and they are also the same mountains that are in the highlands of Scotland and Africa along the coast, because we once were connected called Pangea, and they have geological proof that the highlands are the Appalachians, and the range in Africa along the coast is as well. Fun fact. Exactly, Brooke. And I really don't like the broad term of skinwalker being associated with anything that is able to change form. And I just had to clear it up because that's what everybody asks about Appalachia, and it literally has nothing to do with Appalachia. And I grew up there, and we never ever talked about skinwalker. Nobody ever was like, let's skinwalker. That's made up from the fucking internet. It's not a thing. Now rakes, that's different. And rakes are one of the only things I'm scared of. Yeah, exactly. They make it seem like, exactly, Brooke. It's just a lot of, I'm sorry, but the creepypasta Reddit era has really spread a lot of bullshit ass folklore that's just made up shit. Like Slender Man, that's literally made up. But yes, there are a lot of different things that can change forms. And guess what? You know who else can change forms? Half of the creatures in the world. Caterpillars turn into butterflies. That's literally shapeshifting. They turn into a completely different fucking creature. Dragonflies, have you seen what dragonflies do? They completely become a different entity than what they were. They hop out of the water onto a stick and become a dragon. What the fuck? So, shapeshifting is not some evil ass shit that everybody, because of the Skinwalker Ranch hyped up History Channel bullshit. It's a sacred belief for the Navajo, and it's an elemental practice where a lot of things in nature can change form, including humans. Guess what? Do we look the same our whole lives? Nope. Would you even recognize some of the humans you went to elementary school with? Nope. They shapeshifted. So, just giving you guys a little broader understanding of the stigma that is with shapeshifting and how it's all an evil skinwalker, because that is not the case. However, rakes do shapeshift, and they are very scary, and they're one of the only things I'm actually scared of. They're one of the only things I'm actually scared of. Kendi, which part do you wish was true? Madam Purple said, dragonflies fart to get across water. Yeah, Brooke, rakes scare me. That's one of the only things I feel like in the supernatural world that scares me. Freedom, it's a whole thing I could get into forever. But basically, if there's a spirit that's trapped on land, the rake can use it to they can control spirits. So they can get spirits to do things for them, and they can shapeshift into wildlife or anything to get people to crash their car and be stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They're just pretty scary. And if you want to see a modern account of a rake, They are very much in North Carolina, where I grew up. Heavy belief system there of them. And yeah, Brooke, I wouldn't be surprised because they scare the shit out of me. I get bad vibes about them. And if you want an example of a modern encounter with one, look up 911 call from, was it Broward County, North Carolina? Just 911 call from North Carolina. And something like, man has thing jump in his truck. Okay? And it happened, it happened several years ago, but the call finally wound up on the internet like last year. And it's one of the scariest things I've listened to. And it's exactly like what I always have known rakes to be. So he didn't say anything about it. I don't think the guy knows much about folklore, but if you look up 911 call from North Carolina, thing jumps in man's truck, that's a rake. And not a lot of people are identifying the video as that, or the call as that, but that's what it is. And he used a Civil War, this sounds insane. I hate explaining rakes because it sounds nuts, but they used a Civil War ghost to get the guy to pull over, because he thought he saw someone bleeding out on the side of the road, and he called 911 and said they're in an old uniform bleeding on the side of the road. And then he stopped, and you can audibly hear this thing jump in the bed of his fucking truck like a hammer, like a giant something. And then he screams, that's not human, crying on the phone, and drives off, then slams on his brakes to get it to fly out of the bed over the hood. You can hear it happening. And then the lady tells him to keep driving, and he's crying and driving. And then he tells her the mile markers of where he's at and everything. And it's right where a Civil War battlefield was. And that's pretty much exactly what a rake would do. It's terrifying. And they're really ancient, and they're not things that people have encounters with very often, but they are something I always heard about and you did not want to mess with. And so a modern call like that, I have goosebumps right now. The first time I heard it, I was like, that's a fucking rake. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because I don't like that they are able to manipulate people's spirits. Because I still don't understand how some spirits get trapped here and others don't. And so I don't like how they can actually, it appears, make spirits that are trapped places do things for them, which I hate. So that's what a rake is, and that's why I'm scared of them. Cam Slam, thanks for the cozy cryptids. Yeah, they're one of the only things I'm actually pretty in the supernatural world. I'm scared of humans, and I'm scared of serial unalivers and stuff but when it comes to, and I don't like crocodile, alligators. I don't like swampy water where those things live. But rakes are one of the supernatural things that I'm like, dude, you're welcome, freedom. Yeah, the call was wild, and the dude was ex-military, and he sounded like a little boy. And I'm a very good reader of energy, and this dude was not an actor. When they interviewed him on camera, finally, he is not well spoken. He's not a good on camera. He's not smooth enough to have played that off the way it was genuine. This dude was scared like a little boy. It made him go right back to he called for help, and he asked the lady to stay on the phone with him. He just didn't want to be alone. He was so scared, and that's not acting. And yeah, I agree, Diana. That's why I said I'm not scared of most, because not most are sinister. But the rake is a different beast. I'm not really even sure what the rake is, to be honest. But I don't like it. Fire in the Sky hypnotized interviews? What's that? Yeah, he was genuinely traumatized. Yeah, and you know what's crazy is he was driving from Florida through North Carolina. He was on a road trip. And so he didn't even know where he was that well. Do you know what I mean? And he had to read the signs to the lady. And yeah, Robin, that's what I believe. I think so. Absolutely. Probably another parallel something, another world basically. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I think they're primarily to and fro, like their entrance and exit, I think is in North Carolina. Because that's where I think the most reports of them are. And it's very unique and phenomenon. You know what I mean? It's like that phone call, immediately I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So that's why I was like hesitant to explain it, Dr. O, because they're really horrifying. So if you guys have not heard that call, feel free to look it up, because it's like 10 minutes long, and this dude is a grown man, like ex-military, like he works for like I think he's like he was like a linesman or something. Yeah, Delphi, that's the vibe I got too, is maybe something like it collects souls. I don't know. I don't like it. And I'm not going to claim to know all the answers to the world, even if I am a super primordial old being. And that one, I don't know where that came from, but I don't like it. Be right back with Haint Blue. Yeah, logo. I have a story on Hug and Molly and the Dead Children's Playground. I have multiple Alabama stories. Good night, Lorna. Sweet dreams. Also, just to prove Brooke's point about the negative connotations with shapeshifters and stuff, and to prove my point that the internet has made y'all all skinwalker crazy and think it's all evil, is go back to Twilight time. Remember the two heartthrobs that everybody was, you were one or the other? What was Jacob? Was he a indigenous shapeshifter? Did anybody call him a fucking skinwalker? Nope. They sure as shit didn't. And everyone was obsessed with him, and not once was the word skinwalker used. So I just want to point out how influenceable you guys are by the TV shows and the internet making this shit up. Because it is an ancient indigenous belief that has nothing to do with the shit that Skinwalker Ranch has twisted it into. So, just another example of how folklore a lot of times gets twisted by movies and shows when it's not represented correctly all the time. So, exactly, Brooke, yeah. So, I'd just like to point that out, that let's revisit before Skinwalker Madness took over, and the other examples we've seen of shapeshifters representing indigenous culture, such as Twilight. Yeah, anyway, be right back. Well, Skrilla, you have Mexican ancestors, correct? So that checks out. Because Mexicans are indigenous too. Remember. Turtle Island, Brooke. I love that reference. Oh my God, I love that reference. See, I know, like, I swear to God, I was in a past life, I was indigenous, and like that just made me almost want to cry for some reason. Turtle Island, just, I love that. Hi, Fluffy Pancakes. Yes, Dr. O, it's pretty crazy, right? And a lot of folklore was exaggerated, but it is based off of actual things. Like the vampire story I have, it was because of tuberculosis. The vampires, the myth of vampires took root so heavily was because they were coughing up blood. And people didn't know shit about shit back then. So a lot of folklore is also based off of lack of knowledge and misunderstandings of what people were seeing and stuff like that, which I also still find very interesting because it's anthropology. It's the study of humans and how they react to things, you know? And as an elemental, I find humans fascinating. Thank you, Julie. It's one of my favorite ones. It's like my dream house. The only way it could be any better is if there was like an ocean too. Like the mountains and the ocean. Well, Julie, it's available for framed print on my merch site if you like it. A couple people have already bought it. And if you watch the bedtime story pre-recorded version of this story on my YT, the lightning bugs flicker all over the screen the whole time. All of the bedtime stories videos on my YT, not the live, but the ones that are pre-recorded, all have movement on them. Yeah, dude, right? Cam slam? Yep. That's not human. And the way he screams that, dude, like, and then the lady says, was it a turkey? Well, sir, was it a turkey? I'm like, that's the most North Carolina-ass fucking question. Sir, well, was it a turkey? Lady, I think he'd know if it was a turkey. He's a hunter. Oh, same here, Fluffy. You need to get some crystals for protection. If you get golden obsidian, it will protect you from feeling other people's energy as much. And it will also protect you from people trying to take yours. Yeah, she goes, well, sir, was it, wait, it's not human. What do you mean? Was it a turkey? He's like, fucking no, lady. The fuck? Like, he would have said it was a turkey. No one yells, that's not human, when they see an animal they've seen before, correct? That's just a given. I have never once yelled, that's not human, when I saw like a deer. Or like who? No. No one yells that when they know what the animal is. That is a response of someone who has never seen what the fuck that is in their life. And all they can say is, that's not human, which also implies that it might be humanoid in shape, which makes him very confused that it is not a human. But it look, you know, that's my belief, is it's obvious that it was not a fucking turkey. Like, dude. because I've never seen an animal and yelled, "That's not human." And I had a deer slide into my car once, and I wasn't like, "That's not human." Like, you're right, Sherry. They did try to say the Ozarks howler was a bit. You're right. You're right. That's awesome, James. Justin, right? She was like, "Could it be a turkey?" I'm like, why would you think it's a turkey? What am I gonna say in Tom? Yeah, Diana, we were talking about a 911 call. What do you mean? Anyone specific? What do you mean? Hi, Joanne. Yeah, Brooke, exactly. They're yep. Yeah, Rich, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Justin said, yes, Dolores, it was a turkey. You know what's funny is Dolores was actually my name in Spanish class. I picked Dolores. Dolores. Why? Because it was like the only D name they gave me an option to pick. Yeah, a turkey that felt like, yeah, that sounded like a human jumping into someone's bed of their truck, or like a tree falling on it. Like, it was such a loud bang. Brooke, he did get rid of the truck. And then everybody was like, that's suspicious. He doesn't. And listen, it happened to him like 6 years ago, and the call just got leaked. And he's like, I didn't keep the truck to prove to you assholes that, like, it because there were scratches on it and everything. And he got rid of the damn truck. And then everybody was like, of course he did. He doesn't even have the truck anymore. I'd keep that truck for the rest of my life or some shit. I was like, dude, God, give him a break. He literally called 911. It's actually a felony to call 911 for a fake crime. Like, and he's ex-military. He's not gonna do that. Anyway, enough about that. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of Haint Blue. Sorry, you guys. You know when you drink too fast and like it goes down the wrong pipe? I just like choked on my water. I'm sorry. You did that today, Justin. Yeah. I was like trying to drink really fast in between saying the title and starting, and I drank I just too fast, and it was like Sorry. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of Haint Blue. Thank you for the gifts. Chloe? What should I call you? Thank you so much. Brooke. The house was never supposed to be mine. When my grandmother died, nobody in the family wanted the old mountain house except me. And that surprised everyone. It surprised me too. I hadn't been back to Black Ridge in almost 15 years. Not since I left for college. Not since I built a life somewhere louder, brighter, somewhere without winding roads or thick woods pressing in against every window. But grief does strange things. It rearranges memory. It makes old places feel magnetic. So 3 months after the funeral, I packed my car and my cat Merlin and I drove back into the mountains. The house sat exactly where it always had, half hidden by dogwoods and hemlocks, perched on a rise overlooking a narrow valley. White siding, green shutters, an amazing wraparound porch. And that porch ceiling? Blue. Not sky blue, not cheerful blue, a strange, faded blue, almost ghostly in certain light. In Appalachia, we call it Haint Blue. Hi, Squid. Good morning. I remember asking my grandmother about it as a kid. Why blue? She never answered directly. She just said that it keeps the haints out. Appalachian elders rarely explained the folklore that had woven its way into our modern lives. Sometimes belief and routine fuse so completely that there isn't really a difference anymore. You painted the porch blue. You didn't whistle after dark. You didn't answer voices from the woods. And you never invited something in unless you knew exactly what it was. I spent the first week there cleaning. Dust everywhere, boxes, old furniture. The kind of work that exhausts your body enough to quiet your mind. At night, I'd sit with all the windows open and soak in the mountain sounds. The groan of old wood as the night breeze crept through the trees. Owls, crickets, the babbling creek. It all felt familiar, comforting. Until the knocking started. It happened about a week after I got there. 3 knocks, soft behind me. I was washing dishes when I heard it coming from the porch door. I looked outside and nothing, just darkness. Except for the porch light casting a warm circle across the old wood planks. I opened the door and a cool night breeze brushed past me. No one was there. So I shut the door, locked it, and I went to bed. The next night, the same thing, 3 knocks. This time I didn't open the door. I just peeked through the drapes, and there was nothing outside. By the fourth night, I was officially unnerved, so I called my mom. And I asked her if my grandma had ever mentioned anything weird about the house. Any weird noises? And then she sighed and asked me if I was hearing 3 knocks. How did she know? Another pause, and then she asked me if the porch was still painted blue. I stared at the porch ceiling and confirmed that it was faded, but it was in fact still blue. But what does that matter? Then my mother began to explain. My grandmother repainted that porch ceiling every spring because she said that something kept coming to her door. But she never said what that thing was. That night I didn't sleep much. I sat in the living room with every light on. And the 3 knocks came again. Good night, Jess. Or is that Brooke? Good night, Brooke. Whoever's saying good night, good night. And then I heard a woman's voice. Soft, gentle, coming from outside. It was my grandmother's voice. Sweetie? My heart stopped and tears instantly filled my eyes. Sweetie, open the door. Every instinct told me not to. But my grief screamed louder than reason. I walked toward the door, hands shaking. Her voice trembled now. My hands are cold. Tears ran down my face. It sounded exactly like her. My hand touched the lock, and then a memory came flooding back. Me at 6 years old, sitting beside my grandma on that porch swing, her voice low and serious. If something outside sounds like somebody you love, it ain't. I snatched my hand back from the lock. Outside, the voice stopped and the silence followed. And then slowly, the doorknob turned. Once, twice, 3 times. Thank you, spooky bestie. It was trying to get in. And then the voice returned, but with no warmth now. It still sounded like my grandmother, but wrong. Why won't you let me in? I backed away. The wood around the door creaked with pressure, as if something was leaning against it, and then scratching, slow and deliberate, like fingernails down the wood. I quietly ran upstairs and I barricaded myself in a room, and the scratching continued for hours. Morning finally came and I forced myself downstairs. And it was gone. But the front door had 4 long gouges in the wood. I almost left that day. But then I found something in my grandmother's sewing room. And hey, Noiseficon or whatever, you can't have my music. It's copyrighted and it's available nowhere for a reason. So the AI copyright scans can't fucking claim it's somebody else's. So sorry, no, it's not available anywhere. And stop distracting everybody from the story. If you're not here to listen, you can't have the music, sorry. And if you don't like the talking over it, then bye. Goodbye. But then I found something in my grandmother's sewing kit. A notebook. Her handwriting. Recipes, bills, garden notes. And then one page written in a thick, shaky pen, only 4 lines. It learns voices. Do not answer it. Do not invite it in. And if the blue fades, repaint it immediately. My stomach dropped. I ran outside and I looked up at the porch ceiling. The blue paint was peeling and faded. Bare wood showed through the patches. So, I drove into town to buy paint in the color that my grandmother called haint blue. The hardware store owner, an old man named Virgil, watched as I placed the paint cans on the counter. Then he asked, "You paint your Meemaw's porch?" I stared at him for a minute, and then he said, "Now you be sure to paint it before night settles." That was all he said. So I listened, and I raced home. By sunset, I was almost done. Brush strokes, fresh blue. Steady hands, almost finished. And then, I heard a voice behind me. My own voice. "Hey, turn around." Every hair on my arm stood up. And then again, my exact voice. I said, "Turn around." I didn't turn around. I just kept painting, heart slamming, brush shaking. "Why won't you look at me?" I ignored it. I could hear the footsteps on the wood behind me. The porch groaned as whatever it was stood there. I painted faster. I only had one little section left. Just keep painting and don't turn around. As my brush made that final stroke of that magical blue paint, I heard something behind me shriek. Not human, something ancient, screaming in 100 stolen voices. And then silence, complete silence. That was years ago, and I still live here. And every spring I repaint the porch ceiling. Every inch, no exceptions. Tonight, I finished in a bit of a rush. I admit I was running behind. Fresh haint blue. Pretty good coverage, if I do say so myself. And I felt safe. Until 10 minutes ago, someone knocked 3 times. And then from the other side of the door, I heard brush strokes and fresh wet paint, and my voice chuckling while saying, "Hey, you missed a spot." And that's the tale of Haint Blue. And Justin, you've got a live one. Thank you. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Glad you liked it. Oh yeah, Robin, there's a million of them. They all have the same username. They're always asking you to check it out. Uh-oh, Kimmy, be safe. Oh, thank you, Hebridean. I appreciate that. Welcome in. Welcome to the porch. Thank you, Pacna. Right, Brooke? Ew. Skrilla does. One time he said, yeah, let's see it. He asked him. And so did CJ. Well, there's Matt. Oh, hi, KT. Don't worry, it's not over yet. We still have another story. Touche, Skrilla, touche. But not really, though, because it wasn't directed at you. Mine was. So mine was a retort. Yours was like responding to a solicitation. So different. Close, though. Nice try. Justin, where is it? Pin it. Oh, Cody, it was just it was just one of those troll accounts. It's like, check out my P-Ussy. And they all have the same screen name. And they always just come in and like type a letter or like random weird shit. I do, Matt. Kumquat. Thank you for the otter. I love your name. Antiana. Hi, cutie. Thank you for the cozy cryptids and the populars. How you doing, beautiful? Oh, thank you, Hebridean. I love good story too. And not all of mine are scary. I have a whole playlist on my YT channel that is unexplained. And it's just like cool and explain things like Tesla's research, reincarnation. Matt, Matt, thank you for the whale. Thanks for helping me with my gallery. Yeah, I love the name kumquat. It's so cute. I actually tried to buy a kumquat tree once when I lived in Houston, and I couldn't fit it in my car. And I had to go, can I return this tree? I'm a fool. I'm a fucking fool, y'all. But yes, Heberdean, thanks for being here. And if you're wondering, since this is your first time here, you used to listen to old time stories? Yeah, I love old radio, me too. The people I'm talking to, there's almost 500 people on my live on TT, on TikTok. So just so you know, I'm not insane, because there's not a lot of people don't chat very much on the YT side. So when I'm like, thank you, and I'm like talking to people, there's a whole other chat on my other stream. That's who I'm talking to, just so you don't think I'm crazy. Yes, Cody, but that was not built by him. Because that's what I was saying, Heberdean. No one on YT chats. You're the only one chatting right now. But what I was saying was I'm also live on TikTok, and there's almost 500 people over there chatting away. So that's who the other people I'm talking to are. That's why you're not seeing any other chat comments, because on YT, most people over on YT just like to chill, and they're not as much into the chat. So if you want to chat, you can join us on TikTok too, or you can just stay over there. Most people who like to be on YT don't really want the, they don't have the social battery to even chat, and they just want to listen, do you know? So it's kind of like whatever your speed is. Hi, Antiana. Thank you to everybody tapping. Yeah, Justin. Yeah, a shark one would be cool, Matt, wouldn't it? Oh, thanks, Fluffy. I appreciate that. All right, since it is Friday, do you guys want an extra story? Thank you, Tracy. Well, you know what, Heberdean, I'm new to YT as well. YT is, I'm not allowed to say it on TikTok, but YT is the one you're on right now, the tube of you. But TikTok is the other one, and I'm new to streaming on the tube of you. So the whole chat and everything, all of that is very new to me too. So we're learning together, because I've been streaming on TikTok a lot longer, and I just started streaming over on the tube of you just a couple months ago. Thank you, Tracy, for the otter. That's so cute. All right, guys. Yeah, another story. Hi, Robin. Welcome back. Does Merlin purr? Yeah. Yep. You can hear him purr. He purrs so loud you can hear him purring from my mic on Witchy Wednesdays. I'll just like hold him and you can hear him purring. Porch Baby said yes, another one. Oh, wait, Liv, how much longer? When are you due? When is the Porch Baby due to join us on this porch? You're never on TT, Heberdean? Yeah, and a lot of people are like that. So that's why I started doing the YT stream. So I'm glad you're here. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. I know, Matt's always spreading love. He's the sweetie. Tracy, thank you for the microphone. LT, thanks for the baby hippo. Good night, Connor. Sweet dreams. Oh my God, Robin, that is beautiful. I've never seen that. Oh my God, thank you. Did you just ask me Christmas stories? It's August. Calm down, please. Robin, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I know, Justin. Justin said, who said that? Hi, Lex. How you doing? But I do also have I do have Christmas stories. Oh, you're fighting a panic attack. I'm sorry, Lex. We're here for you. Take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay. It's never as bad as it is in your head, I promise. Especially if you're an overthinker, you literally just make shit up in your head that's like nonsense. And then you're like, what the fuck was I thinking later? When you're out of it, you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah. And I'm an overthinker as well. And you just have to learn to like laugh at yourself and be like, dude, like, what? So, yeah. So I promise that it's never as bad as it is in your head, and your head is always going to spin it to the worst case scenario to protect yourself. It is a defense mechanism, and it is also, a trait of survival. So you can you can try to prepare for what the worst could possibly be, but that's not pretty much ever how same Lex, same. I have CTSD, and it'll never be like that. Like, and if it is, you need to go fucking buy a lottery ticket, because like, since when can you like predict shit that happens? Come on, do you know what I mean? The stuff you make up in your head is like never really what goes down. Oh, yeah, I understand that too. That just makes the anxiety worse. Yeah. Well, we're all here for you. We love you. I will say that a wise man told me that dipping your face in cold water helps reset your nervous system. And you know what? He was right. And it helped me out. So you should go dip your face in a bowl of cold water. Not just splash it, like dip your face in a bowl of cold water a couple times. And it really worked. And I'll tell you who that person was. It was Skrilla. Skrilla told me to do that when the music gifts were going on and my nervous system was fucked and I was freaking out. And I was about to cry for no reason because my nervous system was just like shot. And he was like, I heard that if you put your face in cold water. Yeah. And I did, and it actually worked. And I was like, that is so sweet. Thank you. So, it does something to reset your, it does something to reset your nervous system. So I would go try that, Lexi, and we're here for you. Yeah, make sure you hold your breath though, obviously. Yes, that's what it is. He said it's called a fight or flight reset. Oh, I bet. It's still really hard not to do that with medical things, Tracy. It's really hard not to do that. I get that thing called white coat syndrome. I don't know if you guys know what that is. but it's when your blood pressure goes up, you don't drink, that's good. Yeah, no, don't drink. That's not a good idea. Just put your face in a bowl of cold water. The white coat syndrome is when, like, no, not white cats. White coats. They call it white coat syndrome because it's people who, when you go to the doctor, your nervous system, your blood pressure goes up because you're like nervous about what the doctor, like freaking out about what the doctor's going to tell you. And sometimes just randomly that'll happen to me, and my doctor's always like, the hell? And I'm like, what? And she's like, it's got to be like, very nervous about something today. I'm like, no, the hell? And yeah, and it sucks because you have to like get your mind right to like bring it down, or they write down that it's high. I'm like, so luckily my doctor knows now that that is not my normal, and she's like, what the because it's literally just at random. Like, it's happened like 3 times in like 8 years or something, where I've just randomly, for I don't know why. Yeah, me too, Jess. I always tell my dentist, because my dentist has to take it before they do anything, and I'm always like, I have white coat syndrome, just so you know. And they're like, okay. I know, Sherry. Yep. I'm like, don't you dare. Yeah, Tracy, it sucks. But it's not like that bad. Mine's not all the time, but it is like every once in a while. I'm like, dude. Oh, Lex, I'm glad. Yeah, you're fine. You're safe here. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. You can dip your face in the bowl of water on a beanbag chair. Just don't hit a bong on the beanbag chair. You might break a rib. Not like I know or anything. All right, guys, the poll for the extra story is ready. We have the bottle trees, the fairy trees, Route 666, and Hug and Molly. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box, and you can vote for more than one story, and you can vote up to 50 times. I'm glad you feel better, Lex. I still think you should do the water, too. So cool, Jennifer. I wish you had taken a picture. You could have shared it in the Discord. Yeah, do it. Take a picture. I'd love to see it. Hi, Cody. Welcome in. We're voting on which story I'm going to read next. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. My name's Devin. Poor Skrilla's story. No one ever votes for it. Well, there's that, Skrilla. Way to see the bright side. The winner is the bottle trees. I will be right back. Yes, Courtney, welcome in, of course. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories that help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you want on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. The next story isn't so spooky, but it is folklore. I have a series called the Unexplained series on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcasts, and this would fall under that one. So it's not really spooky, but it is unexplained, supernatural, spooky folklore, and I hope you guys like it. This is the new story of the week. Thanks, Courtney. This is the new story of the week, so grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. I'll be right back with the tale of the bottle tree. Yes, hello, Nicole. Nicole, Cody's girlfriend. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the porch. Fluffy Pancakes, this story just premiered on Monday, so no. And it's whatever stories get voted on. Welcome in, Nicole. Nice, Nicole. I love that. Nice to have you guys here. Welcome in. Welcome to the porch. Lex is in a hammock with a fluffy blanket. Perfect, Lex. We're proud of you and we love you. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the bottle trees. Good night, Robin. Sweet dreams. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Grim. Coming up once I change the background. Just kidding. For those of you who remind me sometimes when I randomly forget to put the background up, you're the real ones. Thank you. Brandy and Wifey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Also, feel free to hit that share arrow, guys, in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that say repost. And that puts the live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow our beautiful porch. Thank you. And thanks for tapping. Fluffy, I don't think I've seen that show. Thank you, Grim. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that so much. I'm growing. I appreciate you. Thanks. This is the tale of the bottle trees, and this is the new story of the week. Have you ever driven through the mountains of Appalachia and noticed something strange hanging on a tree? Not an old bird feeder, and not wind chimes. I'm talking about those brilliant cobalt blue glass bottles, turned upside down and hanging from the branches of a tree or tucked into the limbs of a shrub. And French Creole woman, thank you so much. That is my whole goal. They were the inspiration for my channel, so thank you. Good night, Cody. When I was growing up in Appalachia, I remember seeing them everywhere. And as a kid, I thought they were beautiful. There was something almost magical about the way those blue bottles caught the sunlight. On a summer afternoon, they'd sparkle against the green leaves like pieces of sky caught in the branches. But there was another explanation for those bottles, and it was considerably more unsettling, because according to an old tradition, those bottles weren't there to decorate the yard. Those beautiful blue bottles were actually little prisons for the dead. Now, this magic did not originate in the misty mountains of Appalachia. To find the roots of the bottle tree, you have to travel across the ocean and back through time. The story of the bottle tree begins in the 9th century in the Congo region of Central Africa. There, it was believed that dangerous imps or genies could be captured inside glass vessels. The exact history of the bottle tree is complicated, and historians caution against reducing several different African traditions into one simple story. But written and artistic evidence connects the American bottle tree tradition to Central Africa, particularly the Congo's practices involving vessels, branches, and spiritual protection. The Congo people had a deep tradition of honoring their venerated dead. When a powerful community member died, they were likened to a great fallen tree. Hi, Lisa. To honor them, families would create graveside memorials surrounding the resting place with trees or sticks adorned with plates, bowls, and bottles. The tree became an altar, a crossroads between the living and the dead. Now fast forward a bit to the darkest chapter in American history: the transatlantic slave trade. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate it. Millions of Americans were violently forced from their home, or millions of Africans were violently forced from their homes and transported across the Atlantic to the Americas. They were stripped of their freedom, separated from their families. But something could not be taken from them quite so easily: their memories, their stories, their spiritual traditions. And among the traditions that survived, changed, and merged with the realities of life in the Americas was the practice of the bottle tree. People used what they had: branches, trees, discarded bottles, old glass containers. Whatever could be transformed into something protective. The bottle tree became one of those traditions that crossed cultures and generations, and it became particularly associated with the American South. The practice took deep root in the coastal low country of South Carolina and Georgia, nurtured by the Gullah Geechee people. The Gullah Geechee people, isolated on the sea islands of the Atlantic coast, fiercely preserved their African cultural and spiritual traditions, weaving them into hoodoo folklore. And in the Low Country, the tradition evolved, and the specific color of the bottles became paramount. While any shiny bottle might catch a spirit, cobalt blue was the most powerful. And there is a historical reason for that. In the Low Country of South Carolina and Georgia, indigo was not simply a pretty color. It was one of the major cash crops. Indigo was an entire industry. Enslaved laborers were forced to cultivate and process indigo for the plantation economy, producing the valuable blue dye that was then exported to European markets. So the history of that beautiful blue color became inseparable from the brutal history of slavery in the American South. But enslaved Africans and their descendants in the Low Country gave that color their own meaning. The color blue acquired spiritual meaning for the people in the area, and this specific shade became called Haint Blue. And it represented two things that evil spirits cannot tolerate: the vast sky where the ancestors reside, and the water, which spirits are famously unable to cross. So, by placing blue bottles outside their doors, the Gullah Geechee created a spiritual moat around their homes. The word haint itself is an African American vernacular form of haunt, and the word became associated with ghosts and other dangerous supernatural beings. Thank you, Carrie Doll. Over the centuries, the bottle tree tradition slowly migrated away from the southern coastal plantations and moved inland, eventually finding a home in the isolated folds of the Appalachian Mountains. Hi, Lizzie. In Appalachia, the practice blended seamlessly with the local Scottish folk magic beliefs such as fairy trees and other mountain superstitions already deeply rooted in the area. Crepe myrtles and cedar trees became the preferred hosts for those bottles. And what began as an African graveside altar and a low country spiritual defense evolved into a widespread Appalachian talisman passed down through generations. Thank you, Justin. So the next time you see a blue bottle tree catching the sun in someone's yard, remember that you aren't just looking at recycled glass. It's easy, especially today, to look at a bottle tree and think it's just a quirky Southern decorative tradition. But underneath that beautiful blue glass is a much deeper story. You are looking at a survival story. A 1,000-year-old African tradition that crossed an ocean, outlasted slavery, and still stands quietly protecting the yards of Americans today. It's a story about Africans who carried pieces of their spiritual worlds across an ocean they never wanted to cross. It's a story about enslaved people preserving traditions under conditions designed to strip them of their identities. It's a story about cultures adapting, changing, surviving, and uniting, and eventually creating something uniquely American from pieces of many different worlds. The bottle tree isn't simply an African superstition that somehow appeared in America, and it isn't simply an Appalachian decoration. Its history is much more complicated and much more fascinating. It is a part of a living tradition, and it's been shaped by African spiritual heritage, the history of slavery, the Gullah Geechee culture, and the merging of the Scottish folk magic traditions throughout Appalachia. And that's what folklore does. It travels, it changes, it gets passed from one person to another. And sometimes the people telling the story don't even remember where it began. They just remember that their Meemaw did it and her Meemaw did it before that, and well, that's enough. So, if you're ever walking past a bottle tree at night and you hear one of those blue bottles humming in the wind, you might want to keep walking. Because maybe it's only the breeze. Maybe it's just glass. Maybe there's a perfectly ordinary explanation. But folklore has a funny way of making us wonder. And well, I'd probably leave those haints alone. After all, somebody sure went to a lot of trouble to trap them. And that's the tale of the bottle trees. Thank you, Doctor. Oh, that's so kind. Hi, Rita. How you doing, little potato? Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. I'm proud of that one. That one was really cool to research too. Because I didn't think it went back to the 9th century. So when I was researching that, I was like, holy wow. Like the 9th century, that is far back. That's why I had to usually, you guys know, I don't always name dates of when folklore started, but it could be traced back to the 9th century in the Congo. That's incredible. Oh man, Rita, thanks for the galaxy globe. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, exactly, Scarlett. I grew up knowing bottle tree stuff, and I didn't know a lot of that. My research, I ended up learning. That's why I love these stories. I learned too. And I learned a lot from this one. When I did all the research, I was like, wow, Like, it was very cool. Because I always thought they were blue too. And I didn't realize the tradition morphed into blue once it got here because of the indigo cultivation, which is interesting. Scramble, I just got the storm over here too. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Okay, Lex, yeah, I'll put the bottle tree one in print. I haven't put it up on the site yet. Thank you, Diana. And yes, Sport, I do write these stories. I mean, Jack, it's still prolific. Oh my gosh, Rita, thank you for the carriage too. That's so cute. Thank you so much. Okay, Autumn. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Sport. I went to journalism school, so I'm a writer. Thank you, Ghost of Hal. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm an ex-news reporter, so the researching is the fun part for me. Plus, I love folklore, so I've known a lot of folklore. Like, I've been obsessed with it since I was a little girl, so it's kind of like I know a vast array of folklore information. And yeah, Skrilla, I am. Exactly, Jack. Research is absolutely a venture. It's so much fun because, like I said, I learn from these stories every time. I never even know what I'm going to find out, and sometimes it's not at all what I expected or what I thought I knew. Sometimes it's like wrong. Thank you so much, Sport. I really appreciate that. You're so kind. And welcome to the porch. I know, wasn't that cute, Scarlett? Good night, Fluffy. Alright guys, it's grilled cheese time. And welcome in everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. We end every live with this story because it is everybody's favorite, and they used to ask me if I could not end the live till I read it, so I decided that it would just be the way we end the live, and it has stayed that way. And now it has become a beloved story with beloved characters, and an entire section of my merch store is dedicated just to this story. So if you haven't heard it before, you're in for a treat. And grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, and get ready for the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Thank you, Gail. Yes, Ghost, they're all over there recorded. And there's a playlist called Bedtime Stories, and you can listen to them all back to back. It's great. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Yolanda and Sherry and Gail. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through. 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit, trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years. But the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. Yes, Finja with the waitress sticker. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth, and the vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal, sort of. Thank you, Sherry. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were there but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee. Strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going, but now the wind had picked up. I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit. Not even a flicker. The food came fast. Too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners. Greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff, just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered just once and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped, like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back. The jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm. A voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest. I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain and that flickering red sign. Matt said hearts do be hammered. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Oh, Skrilla. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm and still half-eaten. Sherry, you're so cute. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair, as she took one slow step toward me. The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in. She raised a hand and the walls began to shimmer, literally shimmer, like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it, underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. 1 second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, pulled up with the ceiling missing, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows. Just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No 2 Chainz, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rear view mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone. Not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site and I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight and everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. Matt, Justin. The photo in the article, same checkerboard floor, same red boots, same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Thank you, Laura. Thanks, Roxy and Laura. Thank you. All right, Porch Pals. Love you guys. Thanks for spending your Friday evening with me. I know you guys could be anywhere. Roxy, thanks for the corgi booty with the toots. I know you guys could be anywhere and you choose to spend your Friday evening with me. So it means a lot. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. I love our community. I'm so grateful for the community we're building every night. You guys are wonderful. And I will see you guys again tomorrow night. Same time, same place. And it's Silly Story Title Saturday. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday tomorrow. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't fall asleep, oh, hi, Phenomenon. I miss you. Hi. If you guys can't fall asleep, be sure to check out my YT channel or the tube of you. And I have a bedtime stories playlist. You can hit shuffle or play all, and you will just be out probably by the second story. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, stay spooky.